A warm greetings from Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. I am Professor Radhika from Chemistry Department. In this video lecture series, we discuss about the course Environmental and Social Impact Assessment. In this video, we discuss about the environmental impact assessment and impacts of development on environment. Let us see. The environmental impact assessment means what? So EIA, it is shortly represented Environmental Impact Assessment. It is a planning tool. It is generally accepted as an integral component of decision making in a sustainable development. The EIA is defined as determining and managing the potential impacts of proposed human actions and their alternatives on the environment. That is, determining and managing, identifying, describing, measuring, predicting, interpreting, integrating, communicating, involving, and controlling the potential impacts, which may be a direct or indirect one, individual or cumulative, likelihood of occurrence of a proposed human actions, which may be a projects, plans, programs, legislation, and their alternatives on the environment, which may be a physical, chemical, biological, human health, cultural, social, economic, and its interactions. Therefore, EIA is nothing but determining and managing of the potential impacts of proposed human actions and their alternatives on the environment. So environment will cover, it includes 4 environments like physical environment, chemical environment, and biological environment, and also it includes the infrastructure also. We know that the land, climate, atmospheric conditions, water bodies, noise, which are come under physical hazards, that is physical environment. Weather conditions which include temperature, humidity, wind velocity, precipitation, land use, topography, geology, and seismic considerations. Ambient air quality at the site and around, especially in downwind direction, is come under atmospheric conditions. Lakes, rivers, ponds, canals, hydrology and existing quality, groundwater availability, and flow regime is come under water bodies. So the land and climate, atmospheric conditions, water bodies, and noise levels are come under physical environment. Similarly, the industrial activities and the types of waste produced and the methods of methods handled, and the disposal of effluents, city dumping sites and landfill sites are come under chemical environment. Similarly, the vegetation, forest, flora, fauna, natural vegetation, parks, cultivated land, crops, threatened and endangered species are come under biological environment. Similarly, the public services, water supply, waste treatment plants, energy resources, distribution system, transport system, communication, important buildings, heritage, and sites are come under infrastructure. So these 4 included is a common environment. Let us discuss about the environmental impacts. Environmental impacts involves the study of various attributes, their complex interrelationship, and consequent changes in the attributes. So the diffusion factors, particulates, sulfur oxide, hydrocarbon, nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, photochemical oxidants, hazardous oxidants, odor. So these are called as the impacts, which is these are the factors which affects the quality of the air. Similarly, the soil stability, natural hazards, land use patterns also called as the impacts of land. That is the factors. Similarly, the lifestyles of human beings, psychological needs, psychological systems are the factors of the human beings. The aquifer yield, flow variations, oil, radioactivity, suspended solids, thermal pollution, acid, alkali, BOD, COD, DO, dissolved solids are the factors of water. That is, these are the factors which induces the quality of water. Similarly, the psychological effects, psychological um, performance effects, social behavior effects, communication effects are come under the threats of noise. Resources, fuel resources, non-fuel resources, aesthetics are come under resources. So these are the factors which affects the environment. So these are the factors which may impact the whole environment. So due to development which induces the consequence or effects of the environment. So what are the effects arises? We know that the air changes in ambient levels which may due to the total emissions from point line to area source. We know that due to air changes the quality of air, it induces the lot of impacts to the individual human beings and all the living things in the earth crust as well as the total environment. It also affects the soil, materials, vegetations and human health. The noise also changes in ambient levels due to noise generated from equipments and the movement of vehicles. Effects on fauna and human health. Water availability to competing users, changes in the quality sediment transport, ingress of saline water also induces the impacts. Land changes in land use, drainage pattern systems, changes in the land quality, including the effects of waste disposal changes in the riverbank area and their stability. Also, the impacts of development on the environment. The biological deforestation, the tree cutting, and shrinkages of animal habitat. Also, one of the impacts of development on the environment. The impacts of fauna and flora, including aquatic species, if any, due to contaminants, pollutants, impact on rare and endangered species, endemic species, and migratory route of animals, impact on breeding and nesting grounds. So, totally due to any type of developments in the environment, it induces the impacts due to changes in the quality of air, changes in the quality of water, changes in the quality of land and aquatic animals, all type of, if there is any positive or negative changes arises means it affects the whole environment. Most probably the negative changes induces the harmful effects to the environment. Yes, and not only the developments create the impacts to the environment, that is for living things, it also induces the impacts on the social economical sides also in local community, including democratic changes and impacts on economical status, impacts on human health, impacts of increased traffic. So, the main studying of EIA is which helps to indicate whether the proposed project induces the harmful effects to the environment or not. So, we know that when we are doing any development projects, it affects our environment. So, we have to take some steps which reduces the mitigation measures have to take which reduces the harmful effects by the project in the environment. So these are the impacts of development on the environment. Okay, thank you for listening.